Can we just give another round of applause to the youth? And for all of the adults who take time to pour into the youth, because that doesn't happen by accident. Amen. So, first giving honor to God, Pastor Williams in his absence, members, visitors, and friends, thank you all for coming to the youth program. I know you get in trouble when you start, naming people, but I can't not recognize my family from Washington, my home church, Young's Chapel Baptist Church, so thank you all for coming. And also my best friend since middle school, Joy, for coming, so I appreciate that. And I also want to thank my beautiful and amazing niece, who you all know she doesn't like to talk much, and so she probably hated that I'm saying this right now, but thank you so much for stepping out of your comfort zone and providing the introduction. Amen. When I was asked to speak for Youth Sunday, I thought about all the things I could possibly talk about. I wanted it to be something that was appropriate for the youth, but also something that the adults could get something out of as well. I knew I wanted it to be interactive because we have a lot of educators here. My parents are educators, and you know that if you really want someone to take in what you're saying, you need to get them engaged. So there are going to be some questions that I'm going to ask you, so just get ready, fair warning for that. But as I was thinking, I decided on the topic, a journey towards your dream. Because I feel like you can never be too young to start dreaming, and you're never too old where you should stop dreaming. Definitely as you mature, your dreams may change, they may shift, you may start dreaming for other people as well. I hope my parents still dream for themselves, but I know for a fact that they dream for their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchild. And all the parents and grandparents here, I know that you all have dreams for your families as well. While having dreams are important, dreams without a plan or some type of action are dreams that often become unfulfilled. So today we're going to talk about the steps on the journey towards your dream. First step, you need to have a dream. Something that you hope for, something that you aspire to achieve, something that you want for your life. We always ask children, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And usually they have an answer. That answer may be wild, but hopefully no one tells them, oh, you can't be that. I know when I was young, I wanted to be a teacher, a doctor, and an actress all at the same time. I was going to be a teacher during the day, a doctor at night, and I was going to be an actress on the weekends. I know, I didn't care about when I was going to eat, sleep, any of those important things. I just knew what I wanted to be, and I wasn't afraid to say it. So here we're going to start some questions. So first, can you raise your hand if you've seen the Disney movie Encanto? Wow, y'all need to see this. This is a very good movie. Not just the kids, the adults too. And so for the few people who have seen it, I'm gonna give you permission to use your outside voice today. And so, do you know who we do not talk about? Bruno, exactly. We do not talk about Bruno. Next question, was Bruno a bad guy? No, he was not a bad guy. He was just misunderstood, and his dream was misunderstood. But that made him hide from his family and the rest of the world, and it made him ashamed of his gift. We can't be like Bruno. Oh, no, no, no. We can't be ashamed of what makes us special, and we can't stop dreaming. Adults, we need to be like children in this way. We need to be bold in what our dreams are. We can't be shy about what it is that we want to achieve. There may be people who don't think you're able to do what you want to do, but you can't let the fear of what others may say keep you from having a dream. Because if you do, you're already defeated. In Genesis, it talks about Joseph being a dreamer. Speaking on his dreams led his brothers to want to kill him. They ended up throwing him in a pit, and they sold him into slavery. His brothers, his family, the people who are supposed to support and love you when nobody else does. And sometimes that'll happen to us. The people we expect to be in our corner may not always support what our dreams are, but that can't stop you from dreaming. Slavery and later prison didn't stop Joseph from dreaming, and he later became one of the Pharaoh's most trusted advisors. People may be jealous of you, but you can't let that get in the way of pursuing your dream. They may try to throw your self-esteem in a pit because they don't want you to try to better your life. They may even try to kill your dreams by telling you that you can't achieve it because of where you came from, who your family is, or for some other reason. But you have to take the haters and make them your motivators. You have to be brave in your dream, and you have to take the first step in your journey towards the dream, which is having one. So what's the first step in your journey towards a dream? Having a dream. We're gonna need some louder participation. So what is the first step? Having a dream. Thank you. And thank you, adults. I appreciate it. Because like I said, I want this to be for you too. The second step in your journey towards your dream is having a plan. You have to know what it takes to make your dream come true and do something every day to make it happen. It doesn't have to be something big. It can be something small, but those small things add up. Reaching your dream may not come easily or quickly. Okay, here's the second question, and maybe we'll have more people who have heard or know of this person. So raise your hand if you have heard of the singer Betty Wright. Okay, we have no kids, okay, ask your parents, grandparents later. But Miss Betty said something that has always stuck with me. She said, anything worth having it all is worth what? Nobody working for or waiting for. Okay, maybe I'm the only one who really, really remembered that. But anything worth having it all is worth working for and waiting for. You have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to be willing to put in the work for as long as it takes. It doesn't matter if you want to go to Harvard to be a doctor, a lawyer, be in the military, to own your own barbershop, to buy a house, to be a millionaire, to retire early. It doesn't matter. It all starts with taking that first step to make it happen. You can't be a passenger in your own journey, and you can't be okay with life just happening to you. So everybody knows I love a good road trip. And sometimes it's fun to just jump in the car with no destination in mind and just ride. But when you know where you want to go and you know you need to be somewhere, you don't get in the car and just hope it works out. You need to know how long it takes for you to get there so you can leave on time. And you either need to know already how to get there or the address so you can put it in the GPS and follow those directions until you've reached your destination. You just don't leave it to chance that you'll find your way. You plan it and then you follow those plans. And that's what you have to do on your journey towards your dream. So the first step is what? Having a dream. The second step is what? Having a plan. The last step is being resilient. For our younger kids who may not know what resilience is the ability to withstand and recover quickly from difficult situations. Let me see. I don't know if it's that many people, but how many people in here took my mom's English class? Okay, we have a couple of people. But even if you haven't taken my mother's English class, you probably know that she loves poetry, especially the poem, the Langston Hughes poem, Mother to Son. In that poem it says, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it and splinters and boards torn up bare. But the mother let her son know that she didn't let those obstacles stand in her way. She kept climbing, and that's what we have to do too. You're gonna face obstacles and setbacks. You may not get the grade you want on a test, but that doesn't mean you quit. You study harder, or you find a different way to study. Another method may work better for you, but you keep going. If you lose an important game or lose your starting position, you don't quit. You hit the weight room, watch film, go over drills. You do things to make you better. If you pull out in front of an 18-wheeler and fail your driver's test for the first time like I did, you don't stop driving. You don't stop driving. You pay attention to traffic and try again. Life may throw you a curveball. You may have been saving up for a down payment on something or to pay off your debt, and something happens where you have to put that money somewhere else. You don't let that discourage you. You keep trying. You must be resilient. You may be in your dream relationship that you think is perfect and will last forever, but that person may do something that truly breaks your heart. You all either work it out together, or you need to reevaluate and decide if this is the person who is really meant for you. Either way, you don't give up on love and being in the type of relationship that you deserve. If you use your GPS as much as I do when I travel, you know that sometimes you start on one path and then you get rerouted. You don't just quit and turn around and go back home. You take the new path. Or you do like my dad and Uncle Sam and ignore the GPS and just go the way that you feel is the right way anyway. Sometimes that works, sometimes it works. And sometimes you just end up adding more time to your trip because you didn't avoid the traffic jam or the construction. But either way, you keep going, and that's what we have to do. We keep going. Your dream is worth it, you are worth it. So the steps in the journey towards the dream: first step, have a dream. Second step, have a plan. Third step, be resilient. Be resilient. Thank you all so much for being such a great class. Congregation, sorry. Before I wrap up, raise your hand if you know who Amanda Gorman is. Okay, probably when I describe who she is, more people will know. But Amanda Gorman was 22 years old when she became one of the youngest poets to read their poem at a presidential inauguration. She read her poem, The Hills We Climb, at President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris's inauguration. Recently, her poem has been banned from a lot of schools, starting with Florida, started with one parent complaining because they said this poem has no educational value and has indirect hate speech just because it outlines the history of America. So as a tribute to a young lady who followed her dream and is continuing to follow her dream in spite of the obstacles she faces, I want to recite for you the last few lines of her inauguration poem, The Hills We Climb. When day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there's always life, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. So I leave you with this. Be brave enough to be the light. Be brave enough to take the journey towards your dream. Thank you.